Have you ever driven through one of those spotless suburban neighborhoods where every house looks like it came straight out of a luxury real estate ad? Perfect lawns, three-car garages, giant windows, and SUVs parked in every driveway. You look around and think, how on earth are regular people paying for all this? I mean, seriously, these homes cost more than most people will earn in their entire careers. Yet, the folks living inside aren't celebrities or tech founders. They're teachers, nurses, office workers, retail managers, people with totally normal jobs. So how does this make sense? How are average families stepping into houses with price tags that look like Monopoly money? My name is Alex, and I spend an unreasonable amount of my free time trying to understand money and the strange way people use it. If you've ever wondered how your coworker lives in a $900,000 home while panicking about a $5 coffee, you're in the right place. Before we break down how these families somehow afford homes that logically shouldn't be affordable, let's zoom out and understand what's really going on. Because the numbers don't add up. They never did. And yet, people keep signing mortgage papers like they're buying a toaster. Let's start with reality. The median household income in America hasn't even come close to keeping up with home prices. Meanwhile, the average suburban home has ballooned into a financial beast that would make most bankers nervous. We're talking about mortgages easily exceeding 4 grand a month, property taxes that look like second mortgages, insurance premiums rising like they're trying to escape gravity, and maintenance costs that quietly drain bank accounts year after year. But the crazy part, most people buying these homes are nowhere near wealthy. They're not trust fund kids. They're not hidden millionaires. They're just everyday families who think they cracked the code to the American dream, except they didn't crack anything. They walked straight into a system engineered to make impossible numbers feel doable. And that system, it's been refined over decades to make people believe they deserve more house than they can actually handle. Let's break down how the illusion works. First, ultra-long mortgages that stretch into the horizon. Remember, when mortgages were 15 or 30 years, today lenders are experimenting with 40-year mortgages. Yes, you heard that right, 40. You could take out a mortgage today and still be paying it off. When your kids start having kids, why offer loans that long? Simple. A bigger house becomes affordable on paper. A 900,000 D home might cost nearly $6,000 a month on a standard mortgage. Stretch that loan another decade. Suddenly, the monthly payment drops, and families convince themselves it makes sense. The buyer focuses on the one number. The lender wants them to see that smaller monthly payment, not the total cost, not the long-term risk, just the one number that feels manageable. But that small payment comes with a massive catch. Over the life of that extra long mortgage, the family ends up paying hundreds of thousands more in interest. They're not buying a house. They're buying interest payments disguised as a lifestyle upgrade. Second, down payment solutions that aren't solutions at all. Down payments used to be 20%. Today, people are buying massive homes with 3% down, sometimes zero. How? Government-backed programs, down payment assistance loans, and lenders who realized that the easiest way to sell someone a financial burden is to remove the barrier at the front door. The result? People are buying homes they can't actually afford. They're just skipping the part where they need savings to prove it. And yes, some families even borrow their down payments using personal loans, credit cards, or loans from family members who don't understand what they're enabling. Third, the refinancing trap disguised as opportunity. For years, low interest rates turned the housing market into a casino. People refinanced over and over, rolling debt from cars, credit cards, student loans, all into one big and manageable mortgage. But what they didn't realize was this: they were tying every part of their financial lives to the same house, the same payment, the same risk. One job loss, one medical bill, one unexpected expense could push everything off the cliff. Fourth, home builders and realtors mastered emotional manipulation. Let's be honest, new homes today are marketed like luxury products. Huge kitchens, walk-in showers, quartz countertops, smart thermostats, a dream home around every corner. The sales pitch is never about money. It's about identity. Who you become when you buy this home. You're not buying 3,000 square feet. You're buying the version of yourself you wish you were. And this emotional trap is powerful. People convince themselves this house represents stability, success, and adulthood, so they ignore the math. They ignore their budget. They ignore warnings from friends and family because in that moment, the dream feels real and the consequences feel far away. Fifth, entire families restructure their lives around the mortgage. This is where things get dark. Many families don't actually afford their homes. They sacrifice everything else to keep up the appearance that they do. They skip vacations. They stop saving for retirement. They avoid medical appointments. They cancel hobbies, memberships, and social plans. They trade financial flexibility for a house they spend most of their time working to pay for. Some take second jobs. Some pick up weekend gigs. Some pull money out of their retirement funds. Others rely on credit cards to cover groceries and utilities because the mortgage swallowed their income. Their house becomes both their pride and their prison. Six, the multiple household vehicles problem. Bigger homes almost always require longer commutes. Longer commutes mean more cars. More cars mean more debt, insurance, fuel, and repairs. So the cost of the home isn't just the cost of the home. The family ends up carrying one huge mortgage, two car loans, two sets of insurance, two tanks of gas, multiple maintenance schedules, higher wear and tear, and thousands in yearly unexpected costs. It's a financial ecosystem that feeds on itself. Seventh, the hidden expenses. Most buyers never calculate. Before buying, families imagine life in a big home. They picture the holidays, the backyard parties, the quiet evenings in the living room, but they never picture the bills. Lawn care, roof repairs, appliance replacements, HOA fees, property taxes, insurance hikes, heating and cooling a house twice the size they actually need. These expenses quietly drain thousands a year, and most buyers never see them coming. Now let's run the real math. Take a typical suburban family buying an $850,000 home with a 35 to 40 year mortgage. Monthly payment about $3,800. Insurance, $250 to $350. Property taxes, $800 to $1,200. Monthly maintenance stuff and repairs, about $300. Utilities, significantly higher than a small home. Total monthly cost, easily $5. 零,000,000 over 4 decades. They'll pay more than $2 million for a house that might not even be worth half of that. When they're done, this isn't homeownership. This is wealth extraction, dressed as the American dream, the psychology behind it all. Once someone signs into a massive mortgage, they develop a strange emotional loyalty to the house. They defend the purchase. They rationalize the cost. They convince themselves it had to be done. They can't imagine downsizing because it feels like admitting defeat. This emotional bond makes people ignore the truth. Their home owns them more than they own it. The system knows exactly how to keep people trapped. Builders create desire. Realtors add urgency. Lenders soften the numbers. Banks stretch the terms. Marketing weaponizes identity. Social pressure seals the deal. It's not that families can truly afford these homes. It's that the system is designed to make them believe they can, as long as they're willing to sacrifice everything else. So next time you drive through a beautiful suburban neighborhood, remember this. Most of those people aren't wealthy. They're not living a life of abundance. They're living a life perfectly calibrated to keep the mortgage paid and the illusion alive. And suddenly, your modest paid-off home or your simple apartment doesn't look so bad anymore. Sometimes financial peace is worth far more than a staircase big enough to echo.